What was that all about?
I'm really sorry, Olivia.
Are you though? If you didn't want to see me, you should have just told me in the first place.
I absolutely did want to see you.
Then why did you leave all of a sudden? Did I do something wrong? We were there to have a cup of coffee, but you didn't even get your coffee. You weren't able to wait for what you ordered to come out. You had this terrified look on your face. Did you see something you weren't supposed to see or something?
I'm so sorry, Olivia. I wasn't feeling well all of a sudden. I have chronic anemia. The room was spinning and I felt dizzy out of nowhere.
Is that so? Well, you still didn't pay for your order. You didn't give me a warning and you just said, "I'm sorry," and then left within like a second. You were already out the door by the time I realized what happened. Are you aware that is such an obstruction of business and you had a cup of coffee without paying for it?
I said I'm sorry for what happened. To be clear, I agreed that I didn't pay for it, but I didn't have a sip of coffee.
You still have to pay for it if you ordered it because I already gave them your order. It doesn't matter if you had it or not.
How much was it again? Around $6, right? I'll make sure to Venmo you $6 later today. So can you pay for me for now? I can't go back just to pay for the coffee.
Why would you make it so complicated when it's only for $6? You don't need to Venmo me or anything. I'm sure you feel okay now since you're talking to me just fine, so you should come back and pay for what you owe. I'll wait for you until you come back.
I'm sorry, but that's not an option. Please pay for it for now and I'll send you the money. If you don't want to give me your Venmo account, I'll give it to Sean and he'll give it to you. I'm supposed to see him tomorrow, and I'll make sure to give him $6. Hope that works for you.
Are you freaking kidding me? I can't stand him nagging me just for $6. What would he say if I get that money from you instead of just paying you for it when it's only $6? I don't care if I need to pay for you. I have $6 and that's not a big deal. But if you want to Venmo me later on, I don't think $6 would be enough for me to get it.
I'm sorry? What does that mean? Why is there suddenly an interest rate on coffee?
Don't try to be funny. You know exactly what I mean. You should know better than I do. Venmo me $5,000 to zip my mouth. I won't tell anything to anyone if you give me $5,000. You have my word. You know why I'm asking you for that money, right?
I have no idea at all. I don't know why you're asking me to send you $5,000 and I don't have that kind of money. Are you sure it's a good idea to threaten your brother's fiancé like this? What would your brother say if he knows about this? I don't want you to get in an argument with Sean. I won't tell him that you asked me for so much money, so you can stop it here.
I'm saying I need $5,000 because you're my brother's fiancé. It's so outrageous and maddening. Why should my brother, who has a solid job with great salary, marry a whore like you? I know all about it, so stop playing innocent.
Did you say whore? Watch your mouth! You're being extremely rude right now. Why would you insult me when you don't know anything about me? What do you know about me for you to call me a whore?
Oh, you're acting like you're so dignified when you're actually petrified to death inside. Why did you become so terrified and run out the door as soon as you saw Jack? Why did you have to do that when you didn't do anything wrong?
I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't even know your manager's name was Jack.
You're not just shameless, but a liar too, aren't you? You tried so damn hard to hide your dirty past, but it eventually came up on the surface. Pandora's box is opened. I came to realize that you had an affair with Jack 7 years ago, who was a married man with 3 kids at the time. I can't believe you're trying to get married to someone and build a family when you were someone's mistress and destroyed his family. Do you even have any idea how devastated Jake's wife was? She was nothing but caring and kind. But her life was upside down and her lovely family was torn down because of you. I know all about your sick past that you wanted to hide. How dare you brainwash my innocent brother to marry you when you were a homewrecker who came in between a married couple? I can't believe I could encounter such a shameless person in real life when I could see that kind of people only from soap operas and movies. I can't believe, of all people, the person marrying my brother would be such a soulless garbage human being. It's so disgusting, it's creeping me out. So I'm telling you, you need to send me $5,000 by tonight. Otherwise, I'm going to tell Sean and my dad who you actually are. I'm going to tell them every little detail about who you are and what you did. I guess you don't want that, do you?
I'm not sure if you're going to believe me, but I had no idea he was a married man. He didn't have his ring on and he didn't do anything that would make me suspect he was married. I would never have started dating him if I knew he was married. I know I awfully hurt his wife, even if I didn't mean it. But I am a victim too. He made me be called a mistress by lying to me about himself. I didn't deserve that.
Ha! Why did you give Michelle money if you were a victim? You gave her money because you did something that deserved her to get your money. Am I wrong? Why did you give her anything if you didn't know he was a married man? That doesn't make sense. Which means you're still lying to me.
I was so young that I was right out of college back then. I didn't know any better and everything was frightening. I was so scared of her and her sisters threatening me that they'll come to where I work and make a scene. I was afraid if I would get fired after trying so hard to get in. And I didn't want to have a scarlet letter for the rest of my life that I seduced a married man and eventually broke his family. I hated it and I wasn't able to take it, so I foolishly chose to compromise. I wanted to buy a peace with money if I could. I never thought I would relive this nightmare after 7 years of what happened. I didn't imagine someone would threaten me again with money about this.
You don't need to make excuses so desperately. The fact of the matter is, Jack's marriage ended because you had an affair with him and he cheated on his wife with you. Do you truly believe you're capable of marrying my innocent, decent brother after what you did? Are you sure you want him to realize about your dirty secret? You know very well about how my mother was when Sean and I were little. She constantly cheated on my dad, ran away from home back and forth multiple times, and eventually divorced my dad and left us behind. My dad and brother despise cheaters because of what happened with my mother. And do you think they would still welcome you to be part of our family if they knew what you did? Are you sure you want to lose my brother, who is such a nice human being with a lot of money?
Of course I don't want to lose him because I love him. I don't care about him making a lot of money. I would still love him if he doesn't make any money at all.
Then you should give me $5,000. I'm not asking for more. It's just $5,000. I promise you, I wouldn't bring it up or talk about it ever again if you compromise now. You should empathize with my brother who will suffer to death after realizing his fiance's dirty secret only 2 months before the wedding. He doesn't deserve that, does he? Just shut my mouth with money if you don't want to hurt my brother who loves you with all his heart. You're not wasting your money when you're giving it to your lovely sister-in-law.
Oh, well, okay, fine. I'll Venmo you $5,000. But you need to promise me. You have to keep your word no matter what. You have to promise me that you will never bring it up again and take it with you to your grave. Do I have your confirmation?
Of course you do. You have my word. You'll never have to deal with your past anymore. I'm not a scumbag who will keep trying to get money out of you for the rest of my life.
I guess you know what you're doing.
You should think of it as you're helping your fiance's lovely sister. We're going to be a family, which means we're going to see each other for the rest of our lives. And I will always recognize your kindness. So make sure to Venmo $5,000 by tonight and I'll pay for your coffee. Nice talk! Hi, Melinda. You've got some more money, right? Can you Venmo me $40,000?
What are you talking about? Why should I give you money again? That's an insane amount of money and I don't have anything more to give. Why would you need that much money anyway?
The reason why I need $40,000 is none of your business. Cut the crap and just give it to me right now if you don't want to be dumped by my brother a month before your wedding. Do you want him to call off the wedding because of your dark, disgusting secret? Do you want to be humiliated by your friends and colleagues? Didn't think so. The best you can do is to give me the money right frickin' now.
You said $5,000 from last month was the last. You didn't keep your promise, did you? You can't demand for another $40,000 only after a month after what you said. It turns out you're the one who is the liar, not me. Why do you need so much anyway? Why are you so desperately looking to take more money from your brother's fiancé on top of what you already took from me when you have a job yourself? You have a job as a barista at a coffee shop. Please stop. You're acting like someone trying to get money for a hostage.
Look at you, talking back to me. What's up with you today? You were so discouraged and couldn't do anything but to obey what I told you to do last time. What made you to be bold this time? Why are you pretending to be all tough now? Don't make me repeat myself. I said to Venmo me $40,000 right now if you want to make it to your wedding as you planned.
Why should I give my money that I have saved up so diligently for a long time to a stranger? I'm not going to do that. What I saved up is completely mine.
Why am I a stranger? I'm going to be your sister-in-law when you marry my brother. And I'm going to be an aunt when you have babies. Which means we're going to be a family. Are you still calling me a stranger?
I don't think my kids will ever call you an aunt. They won't be able to know if they had an aunt to begin with. Even if they did, they would be so embarrassed to have a shameless aunt like you.
What did you say? You're the one who shamelessly had an affair with a married man. Look who's talking.
You know what? I actually did research on you. I was thinking about it after I gave you $5,000 last month, and I thought something was definitely wrong. It wasn't even my fault what happened because I was a victim who was deceived by a liar. It's such a heartbreaking past for me, and there was no reason for me to be vulnerable for the rest of my life. Besides, I didn't want to lie to your brother to cover up what happened in the past because a lie will lead to another lie. so forth and so on. I thought I should know what I'm dealing with, so I had to do some research on you. What I found out about you was quite amazing, actually. I guess you're aware of that already.
So you had a private investigator on me? Is that what you did? Are you insane? Don't you realize that is an invasion of my privacy?
Nope. I don't know anything about the damn invasion of privacy. Getting information about you was self-defense. Look what's happening right now. I knew you would threaten me again. It was a good thing I'm prepared for it, wasn't it?
So what did you find out about me, huh? I'm not an adulterous homewrecker like you. I have done nothing wrong in my life.
Well, right and wrong. You may not be like me, but you have a mountain of debt unlike me. I noticed you have borrowed more than $30,000 from sketchy and downright dangerous places. You know they charge you for more than 30% of interest, right? You stayed unemployed for 3 years after you graduated from college, and you barely started as a part-time barista at a coffee shop. I just don't understand why you would need so much money that you dared to borrow money from private lenders.
What did you want me to do then? I needed money and I had no other choice. I was already embarrassed enough to my friends for not having a decent job. And was I supposed to embarrass myself even more by dressing in shabby clothes when I meet them? I needed money to buy high fashion clothing and bags, and it was easily tens of thousands of dollars. I couldn't ask Sean or Dad for money, so I needed to borrow it. But I couldn't get it from anywhere, and borrowing money from them was the last resort. You know what? I guess it's better that you know all about it. You should have saved up a lot of money since you have been working for more than a decade now. I will be officially your sister-in-law in a month. I'm not a stranger on the street. We're like family already, but we will officially be family very soon. Lately, a couple of rough-looking guys keep showing up and threatening me to pay them back, and I'm terrified of them. I'm aware I need to pay them back, but I just don't have enough money to pay them back the entire amount. Sean and Dad will kick me out if they find out what's going on. So you're the only one who can help me. You're all I've got. Can you please help me without telling them?
They're going to kick you out anyway, so why don't you ask your manager? He will definitely help you, won't he?
What did you say? Why would he help me out?
I told you I looked up all about you. You shouldn't be so surprised. I know that you're in a relationship with him. And what do you know? He's a married man again. He got married again, which means he has a wife, but you didn't care. You're still dating him without his wife knowing about it. Are you dating a married man who is 10 years older than you to get some money from him? You should know he is not as wealthy as you think. All he's got is that coffee shop that you work at, and he pays a lot of alimony every month for his ex-wife and their 3 kids. Why are you being so pathetic when you're so young?
No way. You're not going to tell my brother and Dad, are you?
What do you think I will do?
Oh, please, Melinda. I'm begging you. They cannot know about it. They will disown me.
Why did you do it in the first place when you exactly knew what they would do?
I thought it was my only option. I had no other choice. Please. You can't tell them.
No, that's not true. You had many other options, including getting a job or more than one job to make money on your own. You shouldn't have started a relationship with a married man hoping he would help you financially. And of course I'm telling them. I'm going to tell them how you threatened me to give you $5,000 for my past, how you borrowed money from private lenders, and how you're having a relationship with a married man. I'm going to tell them every single thing I know about you. They should know who their sister and daughter is, right? So that you can at least have a chance to become a decent human being again with their help.
I said you can't. I'm going to be dead meat when they find out about how I'm having a relationship with a married man. You know very well that they hate cheaters more than anything. My life is so messed up already, and I can't afford to be kicked out of the house. How am I supposed to make a living if they disown me? What am I going to do now? Do you want me to jump off a bridge or something? You're killing me here.
You weren't even determined to be dead, but still threatened your future sister-in-law with everything you're doing right now. You didn't think I would find out? That they would find out eventually? By the way, Jack's wife already knows. I mailed her a bunch of pictures of you two together as proof. I was fooled by him, but you weren't. You knew what you were doing from the beginning. It turns out you're a liar and an adulterous homewrecker after all.
I see how it is. You're so getting on my nerves. Would you be okay if I tell Sean and Dad about what you did with Jack back in the days?
I already told them what happened myself. They rather comforted me that I had to go through such a hard time and thanked me for telling them the truth. They're so different from you. They are excellent human beings that I look up to. They're so unlike you, right?
What did you say? There's no way they did that to you.
Your dad said everything is his fault. He said he agreed with you with everything because he felt bad about you not having a mom since you were little. He was very sad and blamed himself that he didn't raise you right. He said he has no other option but to be strong enough to kick you out of the house in order for him to make you a decent human being. So, I guess you're on your own from now on? You don't have your family rooting for you anymore.
Kicking me out? Where am I supposed to live now?
There's always a way if you try to find one. You need to try, though. As far as I know, there are some factories on the outskirts of town that are even offering lodging because they're so desperate for workers.
Do you think I'd ever work in a factory? Are you nuts? I can't work in a factory when I have a college degree.
Okay, then. Your only option left is to be homeless on the street with your belongings. Oh, you might have another option. Your boyfriend might be divorced pretty soon, so you can beg him to marry you, hoping he'll help you financially.
There's no way he'll divorce his wife. The coffee shop is what his wife's parents gave him. He can't make money without their help. He would get down on his knees and ask for their forgiveness. He'll never marry someone like me who doesn't have anything but piles of debt. So I'm asking you, please help me. Don't let me go down. I'll pay back everything to you if you let me borrow your money this one time. I can promise you I'll pay back everything, including $5,000 from last month.
That's none of my business. You should work it out on your own.
Oh my goodness! You witch! You ruined my life!
You're such a cheater and liar. And I hope to never see you again. After what happened, my future sister-in-law ended up being kicked out of the house and wandered from one Motel 6 room to another. However, she finally realized and accepted the fact that there's no one who can help her. She got a job at a chicken processing factory in Modesto where food and lodging are provided. She had to get a job and do everything she could do in order to at least pay the interest. The entire family has blocked her and don't talk to her for the time being. But I guess they might be able to welcome her back someday since she's their family at the end of the day. But they're going to decide if they're going to see her or not after they wait and see if she's making a living fruitfully and honestly. I genuinely hope she'll come to her senses and make an honest living. Hey, Jack. I need you to do something for me. Now, this is really important, okay? I want a divorce. Well, the truth is, I've actually met my soulmate. Isn't that great? It means that we don't have to worry about trying to make our relationship work. You're probably wondering who the other man is, right? To be honest, it's someone you know really well. It's your supervisor. You know Billy, of course. Oh, and today, I invited him over to the house. Hello? Jack? Aren't you gonna say anything? Come on, send a reply, please. You can't ignore my messages. I know it must be a bit of a surprise to you, but I can't help how I feel about Billy. It just happened. You should know how destiny works. I'm in love. Besides, you're always on business trips and are hardly at home, so there's no point in us being a couple anymore. Billy is most likely going to get a divorce as well. So I want to get married again as soon as possible. Also, about the alimony. Don't worry about it. I don't need it. Billy has quite a lot of money, and he'll give me however much money I ask for. Isn't that great? You can't give me much with the job that you've got. I just love that about him. Well, I will leave the divorce papers in the living room for you to sign later. Please fill them out quickly and send them as soon as you can. Jack, I still haven't heard from you. After all that I said yesterday. Not a single word. I can't help that you feel frustrated about being replaced by Billy, but divorce is a really important thing that needs to be talked about, and I didn't hear from you at all. But then, what else should I expect from you? You're such a sissy, Jack. You don't have the guts to say anything to me or the situation. I read all your messages yesterday. I'm feeling many things right now, yes. But do you really need to call me such horrible things just because I didn't reply? That's not a very mature way to act. I can see you've got a bite today, huh? Are you trying to put up a front? Suddenly all brave now, are you? Wow, on the contrary. I think that's hilarious, so don't make me laugh. Well, this is actually Jack's mom. It's Ruth. I'm using Jack's phone at the moment. We need to have a little discussion, Rose. Wait, what? Ruth? Why do you have Jack's phone? What sort of game are you playing here? What did Jack ever do to deserve being betrayed like this? And on top of that, you move what's-his-name Billy into your house. You ought to be so ashamed of yourself. So what? I'm allowed to do what I want. It's not my fault that Jack is hardly here and earns pennies. How dare you talk to me like this? I knew you were no good from the second I laid eyes on you. I should have known his precious mother would show up when Jack didn't respond yesterday. Look at you, fighting your son's battles. You both make me sick to my stomach. You clearly have no idea what's going on right now. Have you not even read the messages I sent from my phone? Or the ones from your parents? Wait, what? What are you talking about? Aren't you here to defend your little boy against his wife that has fallen madly in love with another man? No, you idiot! Of course we're all disgusted by that, but we're talking about Jack. He got into an accident while he was on his business trip. He was rushed to hospital. What happened? Is that why I didn't hear from him yesterday? Yes. That's why I have his phone right now. Oh, right. Well, since you're with him, I'm just going to leave everything up to you. He's your son, so you need to look after him and all the stuff that mothers are supposed to do. Excuse me. I don't know what to tell you, Ruth, but he's not my responsibility anymore. I'm in love with Billy, and I don't want to be near Jack. But he is your husband! You can't treat him like this! He was just in an accident! Don't you care? Look, I'm not going to look after an invalid who I'm not in love with anymore. I can't help how I feel. Look, I gotta go. I'm taking a trip with Billy this weekend, and we're leaving today. I'm so excited! Thank you for handling everything over there, Ruth. Ruth! Why aren't you answering the phone? I'm trying to call you. Do you have any idea of what's going on? Oh, it's you. Why so urgent? I think you know exactly what's going on. I come back from my amazing trip away with Billy to find that my house is gone. I'm only away for a weekend and my things suddenly just disappear. What? What do you mean gone? Your house isn't gone. It's just become a vacant lot now. What are you talking about, Ruth? That's literally the same thing. My house isn't there, so of course it's a vacant lot. What are you trying to pull here? You can't do this to me. It's my house. I was supposed to be living here with Billy from today. We were getting ready to move in together. Haven't you forgotten some really crucial part of all of this? What do you mean? It's my house. I live in it, so it's mine. Why are you being like this? Well, clearly you have forgotten. Who actually owns that house, Rose? You tell me. I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. It's in Jack's name. When the divorce goes through, I'm getting the house, so it's mine. What is so hard to understand? Wrong. That was my house. Huh? What do you mean? We're the ones that have lived in it. It's pretty simple, Rose. I own it. I was allowing you and Jack to live there. This seriously can't be happening right now. I thought it was his house. Then you forgot the entire conversation we had around when you got married. I explained the whole thing to you, but you must have blocked that out of your mind. I always knew you don't listen to other people. Well, what am I supposed to do now? Where am I supposed to live? When Billy got divorced from his wife, she took his house. Where are we supposed to go? Not my problem. Anyway, your things are at my house for now. Please contact me when you found a place to settle down. There's nothing more I can do for you. This is unbelievable. Put Jack on the phone. I've had it up to here with all your crap and what you're doing to me. Even if I wanted to give the phone to Jack, I can't right now. Do you have any idea what is truly going on here? Why the hell not? I need to talk to him. Did you forget that he was in a really terrible accident? Rose, Jack can't speak to you at all. He can't move at all. Really? It was that serious? I'm so lost right now. I don't really get what you're saying. What? Okay, well, I need my things, so I'll head over to your place to get them. Don't come over to my house! I don't want to be face to face with a heartless person like you right now. What's going on? Ruth! What are you thinking? What is it now? Stop messing me about! You've kept me in the dark for a few days now. Is Jack even still alive? What do you mean? I heard that if your spouse dies, that you should submit a notification at City Hall. When I went to submit the paperwork and what have you, it wasn't accepted. Well, it's fairly obvious that you've got no idea what's going on. I honestly don't know what to say to you sometimes, Rose. No one ever said Jack was dead. Well, how was I supposed to know? You haven't told me anything, so I assumed that Jack was dead. Well, about Jack. He hasn't regained consciousness since he was taken away in an ambulance to the emergency room. But he is alive. At the moment, he's really fighting for his life. Why didn't you say that in the first place? You really embarrassed me at the courthouse. Well, I thought that your mother would have told you about Jack's condition. I was just assuming that you knew how Jack was doing. She did email me, now that you mention it. But I haven't read any of them yet. Seriously, Rose. How haven't you checked? Considering you were messaging me continuously the other day. I didn't bother checking because I just decided to focus on the paperwork for the divorce. You've got to be kidding me, Rose. How could you be like this? You need to wake up and look at how you're treating Jack, who is helpless and can't speak for himself. You'll pay for how you've treated him. Ruth! What is the meaning of this thing you sent me? Oh, why hello again, Rose. It says that Jack is the sender. How is that possible? You told me that he was in and out of consciousness. Honestly, everything you're saying to me makes no sense whatsoever. What's going on? Well, I wonder if the fact that it was sent in Jack's name is because he gained consciousness and is safely away from death's door. Jack's woken up? He's awake. Actually, the day after he woke up, he asked me to contact his lawyer. I wondered why he immediately thought about calling a lawyer. And then it hit me. Jack already knew that you were having an affair with his supervisor. Wait, what? But how could he have possibly known? He's been out cold for weeks now. Well, to be frank, he already had finished gathering proof of the affair, and he got to the point that he needed to take action against you. He fell behind his schedule of taking you down when he got into an accident and was rushed to hospital. Once he woke up, I got the go-ahead to call the lawyer so he could take action. What? Wait a minute! How could you possibly know where we are in the first place? I still haven't let anybody know about my whereabouts, so how can anything be sent to me in the mail? It sounds like Billy tried to reconcile with his parents' wife and accidentally leaked his current address to her. What? He talked to his wife? That can't be right! He's with me and he tells me everything he does! Stop lying to me! I have no reason to lie to you. By the way, Billy was fired right after the divorce. No way! I don't believe any of this. And you obviously didn't pay attention to anything that was happening around you. Well, I guess that's on you. But I don't understand. Why? Why did he get fired? Why wouldn't he tell me? Well, Billy's ex-wife is the CEO of their company. Wait, what? Oh, you didn't know? No, I had no idea! Billy never told me! Well, then he doesn't tell you everything, does he? You know that's not the whole reason why he got fired from his job. He would say he's doing work outside of the company building, but really he was skipping work to go out and meet with you. I think that's a big enough reason to be fired. Don't you think? I didn't know he was gonna get fired for this. Well, it seems like that's a problem between you and Billy. By the way, Jack is right next to me. He told me to tell you that if you agree to the terms for the divorce, you can split up painlessly. How dare you mess with me? speak to Jack directly. Give the phone to him! No, Jack doesn't need to get any more stressed out than he already is about this. We'll send our lawyer over to your house. You can't ignore me! I need to talk to Jack directly, not his lawyer. From now on, we'll be dealing with this mess through our lawyer, so you should get one as well. Don't contact us again. Having to deal with Rose's affair was a nightmare. I was really physically and mentally exhausted. Once Jack woke up, the divorce began in earnest. With the help of his excellent lawyer, he got almost everything in the divorce. Rose was also fired from her job and disowned by her parents. Now that both of them are unemployed, their savings are becoming very scarce. At the moment, they are living together, but they can't stand each other after all the fighting they do every day. It will be only a matter of time before they break up. Meanwhile, Jack is on the road to recovery. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this. Hi, is this Brooke? Yes, it is. Who's this? Hi, Mom. It's me. It's been a long time since we saw each other for the last time. Has it been 15 years since then? How have you been? Did you just call me Mom? Oh my goodness. Is this Kayla? Yeah, it is. How did you know my number? Did your dad give it to you by any chance? Did you text me to demand the answers from me why I left you and your sister 20 years ago? Did you text me to make me feel guilty about it? No, not at all. It's not like that. Dad has been acting weird lately, so I secretly looked through his phone to see if something was bothering him. And there I found you getting in touch with him. You're so shameless, aren't you? How could you ask him for money after you haven't called once after leaving him and the two of us behind 20 years ago? It's been 2 decades, and that is a long time. You called him out of nowhere and asked him for money? Does that make sense to you? What did you want me to do? What was I supposed to do? I have a son and his name is James. My precious son has acute leukemia and needs an aggressive treatment, but I can't afford it. I need money to keep him alive, but I can't afford the medical bills even if I work 3 jobs. James may be nobody to your dad, but he's your brother who shared the same blood. I don't have a brother. I only have a sister, and she's my only sibling. Don't be so harsh. He is your brother because I gave birth to all of you. You're going to help your sick brother, right? He desperately needs your help and he deserves one. Did you say he deserves my help? How can a stranger deserve my help? You're funny. Like I said, you guys have the same mother and that makes you brother and sister. And he's not a stranger. You're old enough to have a job by now. You must be making some money, right? I need your money. Please help me and your brother. You're not going to let your brother die without trying, are you? I'm telling you again, I don't have a brother. I never had one my whole life. You divorced Dad and left us behind when I was barely 11 and Eunice was 10. We were so young and we needed a mom. Still, you didn't care about us. You left us behind because you fell in love with another guy. You cheated on Dad and you even married your lover. And then you had a son that I wasn't even aware of. Even if you call him my brother, I don't empathize with him and I'm not going to help him. He's not entitled to my help, and I'm not obligated to help him. Don't fool yourself. Do you even know what the rest of us had to go through after you left us irresponsibly? Dad had to quit his 10-year job because he needed to take Eunice to doctor's appointments and therapies and treatments for her disability. He ended up working short-term contractor jobs and had a very tough time to be a dad and a mom at the same time. Do you think it was easy for me to raise you? I was so stressed and exhausted to raise you girls who were only 1 year apart. It drove me crazy that both of you were always crying, and that was absolutely abnormal. Postpartum depression hit me hard and I became lethargic. On top of everything else, I was alive but dead inside after Eunice got into a car accident that made her paralyzed. I thought my life was finally getting better once Eunice was 10 and you were 11, but that accident turned everything back to square one. Eunice couldn't even go to the bathroom by herself and she needed around-the-clock care. She needed me every second. I felt like taking care of her was even harder than when she was an infant. You wouldn't understand how I felt. I was so embarrassed to take her to the doctor in her wheelchair. My life was miserable, and all I could think of was to kill myself to end this agony. You were embarrassed of Eunice? How dare you say that? You were not allowed to be embarrassed. Did you forget why Eunice got into an accident in the first place? She saw you holding some other guy's hand on the street, so she was calling you and following you. There she was hit by a semi-truck and eventually became paralyzed. She lost her freedom of walking because of you, and you were embarrassed of her? What kind of mother are you talking about your disabled daughter that way? What's the problem with what I'm saying? I never signed up for taking care of a paralyzed girl. Everything I'm saying is how I feel, and these feelings are all valid. I was thrown into a role I was completely unprepared for. I had no other choice than leaving you guys because I wanted to breathe again and live my life. What was so wrong with that? Was that a crime? I thought Eunice and your dad might not understand me, but at least you would. Was I wrong? You particularly loved me since you were very little, and you didn't even go to sleep without me. You needed me to sit by you whatever you do, when you were eating, watching television, and even when you were doing your homework. I thought you would love me until the end of the world, no matter what. But was I wrong about that? You loved me, unlike Eunice, who was only looking for her dad, which I hated about her.
Oh, so you knew I wouldn't go to sleep without you, and you still left me? Especially for a guy? I might have tried to understand you if you left us because you were so miserable and you needed to run away from your pathetic life. But the fact is that you left us for a guy. Don't you dare ask me if I would understand and forgive you. Every night I told myself that you were on a trip and you will come back home eventually. I prayed every night that you would come back the next day. Do you have any idea how much I missed you? I burst out in tears when other kids were talking about their moms, or even when they brought up the word mom. And sadly, that feeling faded away slowly over time. And now even just the word mom makes me uncomfortable. And what did you say again? You hated Eunice for only looking for dad? How dare you say that when you clearly know why she was only looking for dad? Don't you remember what you said to her? You said if you'd known she was going to be a waste of life, you would have rather never given birth to her. She was only 10 at the time and you hurt her so much with your words. How do you expect her to like you after what you said to her? After what you did? She loved you so much too. She was only 10 but was very considerate that she didn't want to bother you so much. She dragged her butt by herself when she needed to go to the bathroom so you can have a moment to rest. Of course, she's paralyzed from the waist down, so there wasn't much that she could do by herself. But she tried her best not to bother you to gain your love back. She was only 10 at the time. Don't you feel sorry for her?
Stop it. I don't want to talk about what happened in the past. The past is in the past and I can't do anything about that. But we can do something for right now. I said my son is sick and he's going to miss the golden time of treatment if I don't have the money ready soon enough. You know what? You can blame me and hate me all you want, but I need your money right now. I'll let you take your crap out on me later when James gets better with the money you provided.
You tossed us aside like a bag of garbage and you're devoted to your son? Why don't you toss him away like you did to us? You left us because Eunice became paralyzed. So you should have no problem leaving your son since he has leukemia, right? It's so ironic that you choose which one of your children to love or not to love. Is your mother's instinctive love different for every child?
Have you ever been in love?
What does that have to do with anything?
I asked if you've ever been in love with someone. You should know what love is if you ever had a boyfriend. You are undoubtedly willing to give up everything when you meet the love of your life. You will do anything and everything for him because you love him so much unconditionally. And a baby from that love is utterly precious. That baby deserves my entire heart and soul, and nothing in this world matters anymore.
So you're saying Eunice and I didn't deserve your undivided love because we're the babies you had from my dad whom you didn't love?
I never loved your dad. I was told to marry him by my parents, so I did. But I never felt happy being with your dad who barely spoke and barely made money. I still had two of you in that unfavorable situation whom I didn't want in the first place. I was so tired of everything all the time. Every second of 10 years of my marriage with your dad was so miserable. And then out of nowhere, there he was. I met the love of my life and realized what everything is supposed to be after I have my son with him. I realized this is what people say about fruition of love. This is what a mother's instinctive love is. This is how a marriage should be. I felt my world was flipped upside down.
It is so pathetic and a waste of time to listen to you. I don't feel bad about myself for crying every night and waiting so dearly for someone like you to come back. I feel so bad that I loved you so much and missed you all the time. I don't have a penny to give to someone like you, so stop butting into my life. We finally got back on our feet and we're doing just fine without you. Don't try to tear it up again.
I never tried to butt into your life. I only called him to get the money I deserved but wasn't able to get back in the day.
Are you saying he owes you money? What kind of money are you talking about?
We didn't go through the division of property when we divorced each other 20 years ago. I was busy leaving him to be with the love of my life, and I didn't want to waste another second not being with him. I thought money didn't matter, but now I'm thinking back. I deserve the half of whatever your dad and I had. I was entitled to half of the property. This is between me and your dad. It's grown-up talk. I don't need your opinion or criticism. Mind your own business.
What property? We were left with nothing because of you, remember? You wasted everything we got from the insurance company from Eunice's car accident.
We were supposed to help Eunice with her therapy with the insurance payout, but you just wasted all of it. You spent all that money on your love of your life, didn't you? We knew it back then, but we were so young and there was nothing we could do. You just wasted it, and you didn't give a penny to the rest of us. And now what? You think you were entitled to the property? You're disgusting. You make me sick. No, whatever happened with insurance payout is different from what I deserved. I was still entitled to the property because your dad and I were legally married for 10 years. What a fool. You can't claim for division of property after 2 years from the date you were divorced. You should have looked into it carefully if you really wanted the money. What? What kind of unfair law is that? I should be able to get what I deserved even after 40 years. It doesn't make sense. I said there's nothing to give you. Even if we had something, we wouldn't give anything to you. You're nothing to us. I didn't expect you to be like this to me, but fine, I get it. I understand that you must be left with nothing after helping Eunice's rehabilitation therapy. I know how much that will cost. You might not have money, but you still have your house. It's kind of old as it's been 30 years since it was built, but still, it's better than nothing. It's a seller's market right now, so it shouldn't be so hard for me to sell it. Just transfer the ownership of the house to me. Then I'll give your dad the half of the sales proceeds. See? I'm being so fair. This is the true definition of division of property. Please talk to your dad to hand it over to me. It would be greatly appreciated if you could do that for me.
Again, tell me exactly why you think I should do that?
Because you loved me. You used to do everything I asked you to do. You said you were waiting for me to come back every night, so here I am. I came back for you, and I need your house.
I'm telling you over and over again, I'm not that 11-year-old when you left me. I loved you when you were my mom, but you stopped being my mom the moment you left me and Eunice to be with your so-called love of your life. I don't think I even hate you anymore because you're nothing to me. You're not worth a bit of my feelings. I'm not that little girl who used to do everything her mom asked her to do. I'm a grown-up who has her own job and having her own rules and principles. You should have realized that already. And what kind of house are you talking about? We don't have that house anymore.
What? You sold your only property because you were so hard-pressed to make a living? This is exactly why I left your dad. Your dad was not capable of putting the food on the table for the family. I had to find another guy who could do that for me. I kind of hoped he would do better now, but I guess he doesn't. Poor you. You and Eunice must have a hard time making a living every day because of your incompetent father.
Don't you dare talk about him. He devoted his life to us, and we are so grateful for what he did for us. And for the record, we sold the house not because Dad was incompetent, but Eunice and I were competent. We sold the 30-year-old house, and we moved into a 5,000 square foot single-story house where a lot of celebrities are in the neighborhood.
What? 5,000 square foot house with celebrities in the neighborhood? That's not possible. Did you say you were competent? What do you do for a living?
It's kind of funny to show off how capable I am, but money? A house? Aren't they supposed to be in your hands automatically when you try your best?
I literally don't understand anything you're saying. Oh my goodness. Don't tell me you guys became some kind of escorts or prostitutes so that you can make a lot of money so effortlessly. Is that because I wasn't there to take care of you?
Look what you're talking about. I guess that's all you can think of because you're such a whore. You might not want to believe it, but I'm a YouTuber with 300,000 subscribers.
What the hell is that?
I'm a crime story YouTuber introducing crime stories from all over the world. I research the crime cases myself, and I also write the scripts myself. I also work as a voice actor. I've done several animation projects over the last couple of years. Don't you dare accuse me of making money like that. I read and study endlessly to make my videos. I'm one of the top crime story YouTubers out there, and I fought tooth and nail to become what I became.
Is that true? How much can you make if you become a YouTuber?
Why should I tell you how much I make? I'm making a hell of a lot more than whatever you imagine. Can we stop this conversation? I don't want to talk to a stranger anymore.
You can't call your mom a stranger. You became such a successful YouTuber because I gave birth to you. If it weren't for me, you couldn't have been what you are today. Wouldn't it be unfair for me if only your dad gets to enjoy your success when I was the one who had you and raised you? He can't be the only one to live in that 5,000 square foot house.
Oh, I think you misunderstood. I didn't buy this house myself. Eunice and I bought it together. She paid for half of it.
How can someone like Eunice with paralysis buy a huge house like that? Did she make a fortune by receiving disability benefits?
That's all you can think of, right? Don't be too surprised, but she can walk now. She still needs to work some more, but she can stand up and walk by herself. Thanks to Dad. He was completely devoted to her therapy, and she could have walked again because of him. Because she wasn't able to walk. She was always sat down, and all she could do was draw. It was her only comfort, and she became such a good artist after spending many years of drawing. And eventually, she became a pretty well-known cartoonist. She was abused and treated like baggage by her mom, but she became one of the best cartoonists in the field. She couldn't be happier. I guess we became successful because you got out of the picture. We couldn't have become what we have become if you were still our mother.
Do you think it makes sense that you guys are doing so well when I'm having such a hard time? If both of you have plenty of money, aren't you supposed to have mercy on your mother who gave birth to you and raised you? Isn't that what a human is supposed to do? Isn't that your responsibility as my daughters? What about your one and only brother? You can help him with his treatment if you're so rich. Don't you know rich people should help poor ones and they will be blessed even more?
I'm sponsoring a lot of different charities on a regular basis, so you don't have to worry about me being blessed even more.
Are you saying you're gladly helping strangers but you can't help your mom and brother? That's so messed up! Can't you be a decent human being?
It's funny how such an inhumane person like you is telling me to be a decent human being.
What a disrespectful woman you've become.
I am done with you, so I'm going to block you now. Don't you ever try to talk to me again. Stop being pathetic and talking to Dad. He's been seeing a nice woman for a while now. Don't even think about trying to interrupt them and get the hell away from us.
What? Your dad is cheating on me?
Do you even understand what you're saying? What you did to him was cheating because you were seeing other guys when you were still married to him. You and your dad divorced 20 years ago, and him seeing other women after he was divorced can't be cheating, can it? Eunice and I introduced a good woman to Dad because he devoted his 20 years of his younger life raising us. She is the complete opposite of you. You don't need to care about how we're doing since we're total strangers now. And mind your damn business with your love of your life and so precious fruition of love.
Hold up, Kayla!
After what happened with Brooke, I blocked her and my dad changed his number so she won't be able to call him again. He's so sick of her that he's afraid she's going to call him again even after he changed his number. She was such a monster who didn't even ask how I have been all this time or paid a sincere apology for what happened. And she still calls herself my mom. I guess I won't have to see her or talk to her ever again. I'm sorry that our relationship started as mother and daughter but ended up as an ill-fated relationship. But I want to forget what happened in the past and move forward, hoping that the three of us can live happily ever after. I hope that things between Dad and his girlfriend work out, so I might have an actual mom someday. We had our bad days that all we could afford was a $1 mac and cheese from the dollar store, but I'm grateful that I can help other people who need my help. I'm happy that my hard work paid off, and I can continue the work that I love so much.
Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe for more videos.